Yoo-hoo! And thanks for tuning in to another awful movie review.
And on that note, I think I'll fix us some drinks.
This week's film, House of the Damned, feels like a crossbreed between House on Haunted Hill and Todd Browning's Freaks.
I've read about it and never actually seen it.
But the thing is, both of those were good movies, leaving a legacy of their own in the horror genre. This one, on the other hand, did not, and fell into the bottomless pit of obscurity after it came out. If I had to sum it up, House of the Damned is like the weird, inbred offspring of these two films that nobody wanted.
Well, good. We'll have a celebration.
Filmmaking laziness has reached a new peak, I'm telling you. Another wasted can of film celluloid, another fallen soldier. But before we get going, please like this video, subscribe, and request a bad movie in the comments. And please consider supporting me on Patreon. The link is in the description down below.
Come on, where's your spirit of adventure?
But first, a word from today's sponsor. If you're looking to watch short, action-packed, thrilling martial arts movies, then head over to deadlydimes.com and get 15% off your film purchase by using the promo code AWFULMOVIES15. And you'll even get an extra 20% discount if you subscribe to deadlydimes.com. So go over, you won't regret it. Meet our handsome couple of architects, Scott and Nancy. They are tasked with measuring and evaluating the worth of an old, abandoned mansion in the Hollywood Hills.
Now, why would anyone build a thing like that in this godforsaken spot?
In fact, a little piece of trivia, the Bugsy Siegel mansion would one day belong to Madonna of all people, so they head over to the property, but things already start to get weird. Good gracious, this gets tenser by the minute.
Well, you ain't seen nothing yet.
This creepy place was previously owned by a lady who murdered someone, and is now spending the rest of her days in a mental hospital. Then, it was owned by a guy who ran a circus show attraction. Scott and Nancy barely get any work done because they slowly start to feel like someone else is in the house with them and that they're not alone.
That you can say again.
Now, this wannabe horror film made me lose interest in the first 10 minutes of its runtime. This is a surprisingly short film with a runtime of barely over an hour, but yet the pacing is awful and makes it feel like the story never gets moving.
We better get to bed before you fall asleep.
Most of this runtime is composed of people talking about random things which have nothing even to do with the story. Like a second couple who arrives with marital difficulties, which no one cares for and doesn't even develop into anything even remotely interesting in the end. It serves no purpose whatsoever except making the story last at least an hour.
I'd like to keep this between you and me.
People talking, people walking, people talking, people walking. This could have worked on making an eerie atmosphere using the look of the mansion, but no, ghoulish atmosphere here is absent, which is a real letdown.
Well, I don't see anything so wrong with that.
You guys may have noticed that Ega is back. Yes, Richard Kiel briefly appears as one of the freaks in this movie. He looks completely stoned out of his mind, but I'd say his brief appearance is the best thing about this whole disaster. Hey listen, I've got to try and find some positive aspects to this film.
Can't see a thing.
It turns out the freaks from the previous owner's attractions have been living under the house for some time now. Their plan was to scare those intruders away to be left alone. Well, they did a pretty bad job at it, because in the end, they're the ones who willingly leave the house. And that's what I hate about this movie. It plays it way too safe and can't be bothered to exploit the material it has, because there was an interesting idea lingering around here. Sure, you could only feature the freaks chasing around the protagonists in the house for so long, like a Scooby-Doo episode, but they could have tried at least. The freaks in question are barely even seen during the majority of the film's runtime.
It wouldn't be the first time I missed something right under my nose.
Even though I think the makers could have done a lot more with their presence. There is a good scene where a legless, hairy man is walking in the shadows to grab the car keys, but apart from that, it's Deadsville, man. I can't understand why they chose to keep them away from the camera for so long. It doesn't make any sense to me. Because we're left with a dry, slow, boring, meandering film which is no fun, delivers no suspense, and definitely no scares. A motion picture so lazy and uninspired it makes me sick. Overall, there is so much wasted potential here that it amazes me. So, with all that said and done, there's only one thing I can say. What an awful movie!